Joining us now to talk about President Obama and his recent victory in winning the Nobel Peace Prize is Andriana Bucheri. Andriana, thank you for coming on to talk to us.
Thank you for being on here.
Very nice to be here.
Okay, so tell us what you think. What are your views on President Obama winning the Nobel Peace Prize?
Well, I think it's a good wake-up call for the nation to get involved in community service. And it, as Obama said, it was an affirmation of American leadership in the world, especially since it's a Norwegian.
Yeah. All things considered, do you think he deserved it? I mean, do you think he deserved this title?
Well, according to an article from CNN, the nominations for the prize had to be postmarked by February 1st, which was only 12 days after Obama took office. So I think it was based mostly upon his work before he became president, which is, his community service, his, representation of the Democratic Party.
Okay. Now, President Obama is, currently trying to pass the health care bill. Can you tell us what you think about that? Do you think the government should be in control of universal health care? What do you think about that? Do you think...
Universal health care has its benefits, but I know people don't believe that the government should have that much control over that part of their lives because, the private insurance companies, they're just fine with that.
Right.
And they feel like the government getting involved that would be a little too invasive.
I mean, look at the car companies now. They, the government can barely control that. I mean, would Americans really feel safe having the government in charge of healthcare?
Obviously, people are afraid of socialism, a socialist healthcare, system where everything has to be approved by the government, everything's controlled by the government, and that's just scary to some people.
Yeah, it is, because you really don't have, you lose the sense of control, what it comes down to.
I think if our government took the time to really, think this through, go through a plan, not necessarily drastically change the plan that Obama has proposed, but make minor changes to it so that it can still allow people to participate in their private insurance, but maybe also partake in the government health care as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you think that Obama's doing a good job as president right now? Overall.
I still believe it's too soon to see.
Okay.
I believe Obama has a good message. He's, a very good role model for the youth. I remember watching his education address to students, and I think it's common sense. It's what he's been advocating for young people.
I do. I think that was actually good. I think Obama did a good job with his speech when he talked to the youth. I think it sent a really good message to the youth. And I'm not sure it was always going to be that way. I think it was going to be originally, before people found out what he was really going to be like or talk about, I think it was originally going to be more indoctrinating in a way, and trying to get the youth to believe what he believes. And then I believe that he got,
There was the argument that, Obama's trying to brainwash our children. I didn't see it that way. I watched the whole address.
I thought it was a good speech.
I thought it was a good message to students to take their education seriously.
I'm not a big fan of the guy, but I think he had a very good speech,
Keep in mind, though, that that was revised. I mean, originally, like I just said, it was going to be more indoctrinating towards the youth to believe what he did. And they found out, and they said, no, you can't do that. And so he changed his speech.
Where'd you hear that?
That was on Fox News. Bill O'Reilly talked about it a few weeks back. But anyway, you also wanted to talk to us about the swine flu epidemic.
Yes, the swine flu pandemic. I've been, researching, things going around at schools and, schools closing in places such as Middletown.
There's been a lot of kids out in our school.
Yeah. I read a notice from our school that said that the rates of absences in the schools that have been shut down are 30% or higher. And I know in our school, or our school district, it's only reached about 10%, so they're not really concerned. I looked up
that's what I heard.
On the Connecticut government website, in the CT Flu Watch, and it says that the ordinary flu affects up to about 10% of the population, and the pandemic flu has occurred 3 times in the last 90 years, and that it can occur at any time of the year. So it's not just something for the fall, something for the winter, something for the spring. It's all year round. So the precaution has to exist all year round.
Yeah. Now, obviously, when you're dealing with the swine flu, you have to be careful and stay healthy. How can people stay healthy during this time?
People can stay healthy, of course, by getting the vaccination, but that's in short supply because it's in such high demand and it's difficult, to produce that many in such a short amount of time. But, common sense things, cover your cough, wash your hands, cover your sneeze, stay home if you're sick. I know they said at school you should not have a fever for 24 hours before you come back to school, which is, common sense things they've been telling us.
I do.
Yeah.
We can't have too many people sick, and it's dangerous too. I mean, it is more more
it is a new
deadly than the
new
normal
strand.
flu.
Now, they said that...
Do you think that it's like more blown out of proportion than people think?
In a way, I think it's more of the scare that it's a new strain of flu, so more people are getting it. They don't have the immunity to it. They didn't have a vaccination for it at first, which was scary for people.
Right.
But according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the only people that have been hospitalized have been people with pre-existing, chronic medical conditions. They said people who are diabetic,
AIDS,
kidney failure, AIDS. They said pregnant women are very, very high at risk, so, they should get their vaccinations.
All right. Thank you very much for coming on. We enjoyed having you, and we hope to see you again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.